We have another student scoring a perfect 12 out of 12, and in writing and speaking, it's the full mark, an average of 12. This is what we're going to discuss today, writing and speaking, and I got 5 levels to show you today. The student here says your 15-hour course was extremely well structured and insightful, and there are more comments that you can read here. This course is in the description for you to take right now. Now today we're going to look at different types of sentences, and I love these kinds of lessons because here you'll be able to understand where you're at and what you need to change, and if you're able to tell me which sentence is going to score the highest CLB, that means you have a very clear understanding of the exam. So let's get started. This is level 1. We're going to go up to level 5. This should be easy for you. You should be able to tell me which sentence in writing and speaking, if spoken or written, will score the highest. Let's see if you can do this, and let's see why some sentences score better than others. This is writing task 2, for example, where you give your opinion at the start, and let's say your opinion goes something like this. I'm of the opinion that more green areas need to be built. This is your first option. Option 2, with more green areas, there will be more chances of making the environment better. Okay, this is also good. It's more descriptive. Again, we're talking about CELPIP writing task 2. So this is where you talk about your opinion, and if you want, you can give some reasons, and this one has more reasons than this one, right? This one was just a plain opinion. Let's see our third option. I'm of the opinion that more green areas need to be built as they will serve several environmental and health benefits. Okay, so in all these CELPIP task 2 questions, the good thing that the student has done is given the opinion firmly without saying that I partially agree or I support both things. So that's the good thing in all 3 sentences. But which one really scores the highest? That would be sentence number 3. Why? Because compared to sentence 1, sentences 2 and 3 have reasoning. On top of that, sentence 2 has a little issue because it's not using the words I'm of the opinion. It is saying that, green areas are a good thing, but you should clearly state I believe, I'm of the opinion. Use the personal pronoun I in writing task 2. Sentence number 3 also gives 2 benefits, environmental and health benefits, which explains this more, and then you would build these benefits later in your body paragraphs. And your intro here sets that up, which means you get a good mark right here for flow, because what you say in the intro will be then further elaborated in the body paragraphs. Hence, you want to try to do something like sentence number 3 here. Let's look at level 2. We're going to talk about writing task 1, informal emails. And let's say we're in a body paragraph where we're inviting people over. So we're saying, I wanted to invite you over for a cup of coffee because that would be so much fun. Very informal, and that's how you're supposed to be. So this is nice. Next, why not have some coffee sometime soon? I have been dying to see you. Now this one is a phrasal expression. It has an exclamation mark. It's very informal, and that fits the tone. That's also good. Why not have coffee sometime soon? I have been dying to see you. So very similar to this one. There's a subtle difference. I'm not sure if you can notice that or not. We'll discuss that. One thing I'm going to point out is, and I'm going to tell you this right away, sentences 2 and 3 are slightly better because they have a question mark. So it's always recommended to give a range of expressions, and when you can throw in question marks, exclamation marks, commas, semicolons, especially in writing, you gain more marks because you're giving the examiner a variety of phrases and sentences. So these 2 are already good. Which one is better though? The answer is the second one. Why? Because the only difference between this and this is right here, the semicolon. And as I mentioned, range of expressions includes range of punctuations. So having semicolons, especially in informal writings in task 1, gives you more marks. Always try to use them where you can. Level 3, speaking task 3. This is where you're explaining a picture. And you start by saying, in this picture, I can see a scene of a farmer's market. where people are engaging in buying and selling. Okay, seems okay. Next, the picture portrays a farmer's market. So instead of I can see, we're saying portrays, where people are buying and selling products. So just we added products here. Got you. Option 3, the picture showcases, now instead of portrays, we're saying showcases a farmer's market with an overall positive vibe among the many people shopping. Which one scores the highest? The answer is number 3. Now, it's not just because of showcases. I mean, that is a good word. So is portrays, not a big difference there. But we're not just talking about what people are doing right away. First, we're explaining the quality of the picture, and this is what a lot of students lack. You have to first define the overall picture. It's an overall positive vibe. It's an overall chaotic scene. It's an overall sunny morning with people engaging in different activities. You define the quality of the picture first. Then you explain what people are doing among the many people shopping. And I like this because it's just shopping. You're not saying buying and selling. Buying and selling, first of all, looks very descriptive, and it's just the intro sentence. So you don't go full descriptive mode right here. Secondly, buying and selling is so wordy. I mean, in a farmer's market, you would just be buying and selling. Just say shopping instead. Try to summarize your points, especially if these words are not really advanced words, they're not adding any value. Now, let's look at level 4. This is where things will get a little bit tricky. So if you can identify the right one here, you're a genius. Leaving students, and by the way, we're talking about speaking task 7, where we're debating, and here we're giving an opinion about technology in classrooms. Leaving students without exposure to technology will be us shooting ourselves in the foot in the global race of the technologically apt. That means technologically adapted, advanced, or skilled in something. And we're saying that we're using a phrasal verb here, shooting ourselves in the foot. So we're going to be hurting ourselves if we don't expose students to technology. And this is a long, complex sentence, so it is pretty good. Next, when our youth is not apt at technology, they will easily be left behind in the global race. You tell me if this is worth it. Now, this is different and unique because we're debating, so it's kind of in the debating realm. You say stuff like this. You tell me if this is right. You tell me if that makes sense. You can also do interrogative questions. You can say, does that make sense on any level? And this is, the first one is a complex sentence starting with when and then this next part, so it has 2 clauses. Next, we have to find ways to engage students more on online platforms. Now, this is more of a we should, we have to kind of tone. Next, if this is not done, they will simply be left behind in the online race. This is also a complex sentence, so that's nice too. So you have 3 really high quality sentences. Which one do you think scores the highest? The highest scoring sentence here will be the first one. The first one has something that both the other sentences have. It has the complexity. It's a long, complex sentence. It is also stating the description very well, that if you don't use technology, you're going to be left behind. It has advanced words with something like technologically, which is an adverb which gives you range. More importantly, it has this phrasal expression, shooting ourselves in the foot, which the other 2 options do not have. Using phrasal expressions is something that the examiner marking scheme recommends, and it is something that adds more range. Hence, the first sentence wins. Finally, let's look at our hardest level today, level 5. This is speaking task 2. Let's say you're talking about a possession or something you own. You start off your intro by saying, today, I'd like to talk about my watch. I absolutely love it since it is a rare collection and was gifted to me by my dad. Got it. Okay, that's your intro, right? Next option is, there are many things I could talk about since I have a lot of possessions, but the topic I will choose will be my watch since it is very dear to me. Okay, so this here starts with a little bit of a general sentence instead of getting to the topic right away. It first says there are many things, and one of them, like I will choose today, is going to be my watch. This one was very direct. I'm going to talk about my watch. Let's look at option 3. Among the many things I possess, my Seiko watch is the one that stands out. The watch is one of a kind, as it belongs to an exclusive collection of 300 limited watches worldwide. Okay, in this case what happened is, the intro was general again at the start, among the many things I possess, but then it wasn't too general. It didn't keep going on. It then just talked about the actual item, which is very specific. My Seiko watch is the one that stands out. And then the next sentence is where he explains the features of this watch. Different types of sentences. Which one do you think scores the highest? The answer is the last one. Why? So as I mentioned, the start is good. It starts off with something general, doesn't go to your watch directly. It's not like I talk about this thing today. It starts off among the many things I possess, so that's a soft intro start, which is nice. And then you talk about the main thing, you point it out. Then you don't give any features right here in the first sentence. Like the second sentence was saying, it is very dear to me. And even in the first sentence, in the very start, right after the watch part, it was so much detail about the features. I absolutely love it since it's a rare collection, was gifted to me by my dad. You have to build things slowly. First intro sentence just talks about the actual item, and it doesn't drift away so much. It talks about the item because you don't have so much time that you say all of this, like I have so many possessions, but the topic I'll choose today is this. You don't have that much time. You mentioned the possession. The next sentence is where you start talking about the features, but not in too much detail. So we're saying this watch is one of a kind, as it belongs to an exclusive collection of 300 limited watches worldwide. And after this, in the next sentence, I'm going to explain how much dear that is to me, or how important that quality is to me, and then I would add another feature and so on. But I'm not explaining a whole list of features right here. This is how you're building and structuring your answer. That brings us to the end of this video, and remember, if you want to score high, you need to get accustomed to these high quality sentences and use them in your writing and speaking. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want scores like these, check out our course link in the description. Any questions, feel free to comment down below.